Have you ever looked at a 1977 Lincoln Memorial penny and wondered if that little 1-cent coin could actually be worth more than its face value? Most people would probably toss it into a jar, spend it without thinking, or leave it forgotten in a drawer. But here's the exciting part. Some 1977 Lincoln Memorial cents can attract collectors because of their condition, mint mark, and especially unusual errors or varieties. So before you spend a 1977 penny, take a closer look, because the difference between an ordinary penny and a collectible coin can sometimes be hidden in the smallest details. The 1977 Lincoln Memorial cent was struck by the United States Mint during an important period in American coinage. On the obverse, you'll see the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the word liberty, while the inscription "In God We Trust" appears along the top. The date, 1977, is positioned in front of Lincoln. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the famous Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial Building, surrounded by the inscriptions "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum", with 1 cent at the bottom. But here's where coin hunters should pay attention. Not every 1977 penny is equal. Millions of these coins were produced, so an ordinary circulated 1977 cent is generally not rare. In many cases, a heavily worn example may be worth little more than its 1 cent face value. However, collectors don't always search for rarity based only on the year. They also look for condition, mint marks, errors, varieties, and unusual characteristics. And that's exactly why you should inspect your 1977 Lincoln penny carefully. First, check the mint mark. A 1977 penny may have been produced at the Philadelphia Mint or Denver Mint, depending on the specific coin. The presence or absence of a mint mark can help identify where it was struck. Next, examine the coin's condition. A coin that has spent decades circulating through pockets, cash registers, and coin jars will usually show scratches, discoloration, and wear. But a coin that has been preserved in exceptional condition can be much more interesting to collectors. And this is where things get really exciting. Imagine finding a 1977 penny that looks almost untouched after nearly 5 decades. The surfaces are bright, the details are sharp, the lettering is clean, the rims are well defined, and the coin has very few marks. That kind of preservation can make a huge difference when the coin is professionally graded. But condition isn't the only thing you should investigate. Errors can be even more important. During the minting process, coins can sometimes experience striking problems. A coin may be struck off-center, have unusual doubling, show a die-related problem, or display another minting anomaly. If you find something unusual on your 1977 Lincoln cent, don't immediately assume it is valuable. Many strange-looking features are actually caused by normal circulation damage, scratches, environmental exposure, or post-mint alterations. That's why genuine mint errors and varieties should be carefully examined and, when appropriate, authenticated by a reputable professional grading or authentication service. Now let's talk about something every collector loves: the possibility of a valuable discovery hiding in plain sight. You could have a 1977 Lincoln Memorial penny sitting in an old collection, or even an inherited collection, and you might never notice it until you actually examine it under good lighting. Look closely at the date, look at the lettering, look around the edges, examine Lincoln's portrait, then flip it over and carefully inspect the memorial building and inscriptions. A magnifying glass can help. You see details that are difficult to notice with the naked eye. But remember this important rule: don't clean the coin. Many people think cleaning an old penny will make it more valuable. In reality, harsh Cleaning can damage the original surface and potentially reduce collector appeal. Instead, leave the coin in its natural condition and handle it carefully by the edges. Another important factor is the difference between face value and collector value. A regular 1977 penny in worn condition may not be worth much above 1 cent, but a highly preserved example, an unusual mint error, or a legitimately recognized variety can be a different story. That's why you should never judge a coin simply because it is old. A coin being nearly 50 years old does not automatically make it rare. What matters is the combination of factors: rarity, condition, demand, authenticity, and the specific characteristics of that individual coin. And that brings us to one of the biggest mistakes new collectors make. They see a headline claiming that a certain penny is worth thousands of dollars, then assume every penny from that year is worth the same amount. That's not how coin collecting works. A record price for a rare example does not mean an ordinary circulated coin has that same value. So if you own a 1977 Lincoln Memorial cent, take a realistic approach. Start with identification, then check the mint mark, inspect the condition, search for genuine errors or recognized varieties. Compare your coin with reliable references. And if you believe you have something truly unusual, consider getting an expert opinion. The best part of coin collecting is the hunt. You don't necessarily need to buy an expensive ancient coin to enjoy the hobby. Sometimes the most exciting discoveries begin with something as ordinary as a penny. A coin that most people ignore could have a fascinating story behind it, and the 1977 Lincoln Memorial cent is a perfect example. It represents an era of American history, everyday commerce, and decades of changing hands. Think about how many people may have held that exact coin. It could have been used at a grocery store. It could have sat inside a cash register. It might have traveled across different states. It could have been saved in a collection for decades, and now it could be sitting in your hands. So the next time you find a 1977 Lincoln Memorial penny, don't spend it immediately. Take a few seconds. Look closely. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Inspect both sides. Look for unusual characteristics. And most importantly, don't let an ordinary appearance fool you into ignoring the details. Because in coin collecting, the smallest detail can sometimes make the biggest difference. If you enjoy discovering interesting coins, hidden varieties, and valuable Lincoln pennies, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll keep searching through America's pocket change, one coin at a time. And remember, before you spend that old penny, check it. You never know what you might find. This is Coin Jackpot, where ordinary coins get a closer look.